Welcome back, everybody. So I have another castle explore for you today. We and Richard have both been there before. We went there back earlier on this year to investigate during the winter. It was horrendous up there. It was windy, it was cold, it was just nasty in every single way. And I also fell over down the moat, which was quite funny for a lot of people. But I did make a promise to myself to go back there during the summer to do some filming and to do a history video and possibly to investigate. Now, there won't be any investigation today. I'm just going to give you a tour of this place, and I'm just going to try and give you as much of the history as I possibly can. Now, there is a wood that I'd like to go to, which is nearby, but every time in the last 2 weeks I've wanted to go to a castle, it's rained. Every time, okay, and it has. I was meant to go to a castle on Saturday to do an investigation, and Storm Dickhead come along and just spoil all those plans. And obviously we had the old Wardour Castle, and that was absolutely throwing it down. And just as I was about to leave, we had a nice little spell of rain. So I have got my dancing daps on, so going to the wood is probably not going to happen. So if not, I will try and find somewhere else to have a look at on the way back. So on that note, hope everybody enjoys the video. So we're coming up to the gate or the entrance to the castle, and as you can probably see, that is like the ditch, embankment, fort, moat, whichever, however you want to call it, just here. I'll take you to the castle and then I'll do the history bit after. So yeah, so there's the moat, and that is a lot steeper than it looks. A lot steeper than it looks. And the wood that I'm talking about is all the way over there. That tree line in the back there is the wood, so yeah, that's definitely another day. But yeah, here is what's left of Ludgershall Castle. There's not a huge amount to it in any way, but this is what it used to look like. So they think. So you'd have the Great Tower, which I guess is probably still that bit. King's Chamber and Chapel, Chamber and Chapel Block, Prince Edward's Chamber, Train, and obviously they got all this different bits and pieces, which I'm going to try and find online to do this video. Ludgershall Castle was probably built in the late 11th century by Edward of Salisbury, Sheriff of Wiltshire, and had passed into the hands of the Crown by the early 12th century. Lying on the edge of a medieval forest, it was frequently used as a royal hunting lodge. The castle was much improved in the 13th century by King John and his son Henry III, but had fallen into ruin by the 16th century. The 11th century castle was set within two adjacent enclosures, surrounded by earthwork banks and ditches, fieldworks that had been established more than 1,000 years before the castle was built. The southern enclosure may originally have been a small Iron Age fort. After the castle became royal property in about 1100, it was managed by John the Marshal, who was the custodian on behalf of the king. He fortified the castle, probably adding the enclosures to the north, which contained the most important buildings. Largely constructed in stone, the southern enclosure, or bailey, had timber buildings including the castle, farm, stables and kitchen. In 1210, King John repaired and improved the castle, bringing the buildings up to date as a residence to take advantage of the nearby hunting forests. Henry III, who inherited the castle from his father, King John, was evidently fond of Ludgershall. He visited at least 21 times and made many additions and improvements to the castle between 1234 and 1251, transforming it into a lavish residence. The main features of Henry's building works were a new great hall for dining and an entertainment building in 1244 and royal apartments. There were two separate parks at Ludgershall. The long narrow northern park was probably laid out in 1100 and seems to have been located in such a way as to allow activities in the park to be watched from the castle buildings and earthwork. It gave the impression of an enormous park extending beyond the horizon. In fact, it was actually too small for hunting, but could have staged hare and rabbit coursing or tournaments. The South Park was a separate hunting area on the other side of Ludgershall town, and was probably kept well stocked with deer. From about 1317, Ludgershall was referred to as the King's Manor, and was given to successive queens and royal dependents, including Queen Philippina, wife of Edward III, and her daughter Isabel, Countess of Bedford. They do not know when the royal family stopped using the castle, but it was visited less and less frequently in the 14th and 15th century. By the 1540s, the buildings had been dismantled and levelled over to form the garden of the nearby house. The tower was kept as a garden feature. Throughout the castle's history, many of its buildings were made of timber taken from the nearby hunting forest of Savernake. Only those rebuilt in stone survive today, and they have been robbed of their original facings, leaving a flint-speckled aspect quite different from your original smooth-fronted appearance to most castles. So there's a little bit of a brief history on Ludgershall Castle. There is a bit more, but I didn't want to include too much in case you wanted to find out a little bit more about this castle. But it's a very, very cool place, and I hope everybody enjoys the rest of the video. One thing I have noticed is how this one is built differently, as in where old Wardour Castle was big blocks. These are just like the little stones, like you get in the little stone walls. It's pretty cool. Very thick walls as well with that. I was in the way of somebody, so I had to do a bit of a runner. It's kind of weird, it's strange really. Now, this isn't anything paranormal or anything like that. I'm not talking about ghost hunting. It's weird because I can feel how this place was in its original true form, if that makes sense. And like with it all fully built back all those hundreds of years ago. It's a weird feeling. It's a weird feeling, but it's a cool feeling. That's a good shot. That's a very good shot. Let's take a quick look up here. Let's take a quick look up this. Then, without slipping over, Dave. Without slipping over. So as you can see, it keeps going round and round and round, trying to protect the phone from the breeze and the wind. One thing I do know is it's very slippery up here. I think it could be just another entrance into the place. To be honest, I gotta get down this little slope yet so I can see this going wrong. Mental note, okay? Never put on your dancing shoes when you go to a castle. If that's too muddy, I ain't going there. It leads to something. It leads to something. Let's just get down the hill first, Dave. Get down the hill first. And then talking to myself like a right old weirdo, which would be true, because I am. Okay. Where does this lead to? It's too muddy for me to walk down, I admit. But where does it lead to? It leads to somewhere. It looks like a footpath down through there. Yeah, that's about it really. Okay then everybody, so there's your brief history and walk around of Ludgershall Castle. It's not a lot here, I admit, but I just love it here. It's very, very peaceful and quiet, and I just generally like being here. Okay, I've been here about 3 or 4 times, and I just thought I'd give you a quick look around and show you what it's about in the daytime instead of it being at night. And yeah, now I'm going to go home and dry my feet out because they're actually sopping. So on that note, I hope everybody has a great rest of the day, whatever you're doing. Please take care, and goodbye. Okay then everybody, so there was me on my way back from Ludgershall, and I was thinking about what I could do to make this episode a little bit longer, or what else I could show you which was local to me in Wiltshire. Now, on the way back I thought of something, and I do have to do a little bit of off-roading, and this car's 20 years old. It's my little baby, alright? Okay, and I got taken by surprise because I was going down this tarmac road quite fast, and it went straight from tarmac to a very bumpy track. So I'm going to try and get there the best I can. I'm going to film it on the way there because you should get some good comedic value. Also, on the way here, I saw a rat the size of a lion crossing the road. It was absolutely massive. It just looked at me and said, "What are you looking at, man? Yeah, what are you looking at?" But on a serious note, I'm going to record it and just see, you know, you might get a bit of comedic value from this and all that, and then I'll take you to where this thing is. It's right on the edge of the Salisbury Plain, and I've just started moving. It's on the edge of the Salisbury Plain training area, and I'll show you and tell you about it when I get there. So, just going to swing this round here like that, okay? So then you get to see what a great view that is. That's an absolute awesome view. I love that. Sun setting. It's about 8:15 here at night. It's absolutely amazing. Let's go for it. Obviously I'm not going to keep all of this in the video, but you should get some good comedic value at the least. And as you can hear, everything's already started rattling. It's not too bad at the moment, but I know when I get to the top it's a bit different. I never remember this track being way. Oh my god! What I was going to say is I don't ever remember this track being this rough. Oh, we got a bit of tarmac. Oh, much better. Now the place I'm going to is called, this road leads to a place called Redhorn Hill, and there's a vedette hut, and obviously it's right on the edge of the military training area. Obviously I'm not going up onto the training area, into the training area, but I just want to show you something up here. So we're coming up to the top. I was going to say that's an interesting little building. It's just a water floating. Training area. I can't go anywhere past that vedette hut, and I won't want to up here because this is one of the impact areas for the Salisbury Plain. The downside is I can't remember where I'm going. That way. Oh, it's rough. If you can't hear it, it's rough. This is not a good idea. not pleasant in any way. Just like that, camera just go like that. Oh, I know how Richard's car felt when we did round an orca back in the winter. Hopefully it's not too far away. I think it's, if I remember correctly, it's just around the corner. Just to see if I can keep that a little bit steady, which I can't. Okay, it is confirmed. Oh, it looks like the surface of the moon, man. Please don't get stuck. Please don't get stuck. Please don't ground out. Please don't ground out. Oh, we're good. We're good. And back to being shaken around. Oh, my poor car. Stop rolling. Oh, God. Oh, you know, you get those moments where you just wish you took the other way, which would have been the easier way. That is today. That is that today. Now I am about midway into this, so either way I've got to continue on this track. My poor car. I thought it was just around the corner, but it's not. I can see a lot of Wiltshire now though. I can see a hell of a lot of Wiltshire. Good place for spotting UFOs. Oh yeah. Car didn't like that. Better turn some... I'm smoking, by the way. Not really fast. Better turn some lights on. It's getting a bit dark. Somewhere around here. I thought that was it, but it's not. I think, is that it? Is that it? No. I thought it was like a little memorial, but here it is. No, I found it. I found it. I got it. It's just here. Just there. That's what I'm looking for. Right there. That little cross there. I'm not gonna lie to you people. That was not pleasant in any way, shape or form, but I found it. Now I'm gonna have to check the car. Front tyre looks a little bit soft, I'm not gonna lie, but it should get me home. Should be alright, I hope. Fingers crossed. I'm gonna show you the view of where I am first, okay, before I actually show you this. And this is the Wiltshire at the moment, on the edge of the Salisbury Plain. So basically where I live, over that way somewhere. Over that way where it's all nice and hazy and probably raining, but yeah, it's an absolutely fantastic view. I'm going that way back. It's a long way round, but it's an easier way round, and it saves me having to do this again. But so basically this is what I've come to show you. It's called Airman's Cross. It's a memorial site of where a German pilot in World War II crashed, and this is the actual point where he died. This is the point where he actually crashed. So I'm going to show you this memorial. Very well kept, and basically I can't say the name, and I can't read the German writing, but he crashed here on the 5th of September, or was that put here? That looks like 93. Either way, I think this was probably put here in 93, on the 5th of September 93. it was in World War II, and this was the area where he crashed his plane and sadly died. Now, just as you go to Stonehenge, there's a roundabout called Emmons Cross Roundabout, I believe, and that's like another memorial to him. But this is the point where he actually died. It's always very, very well kept. There's obviously a lot of respect here. But yeah, I don't know exactly the date of when he crashed here. By the looks of it, this memorial was put here on the 5th of September. I want to say that's 93. That's like a 9-3, possibly. I'm not sure. But yeah, so I just wanted to show you this. It wasn't nothing too much, but yeah. Yeah, I just thought this would be nice to show you, because they do put a lot. It is always very well kept. I've been up here a few times in the past, and it's always very, very well kept. It's always, you know, like looked after. So rest in peace. So on that note, everybody, I hope everybody has a great rest of the day, whatever you're doing. Please take care and goodbye. I will keep the camera running just in case I get any bloopers on the way back, but I shouldn't do, because I go down this road and then I'm back on one of the main roads which takes me home. So yeah, see you later all, bye bye.